So what did yesterday's wedding and the reaction to it tell us about ourselves and our country's future, and how did it compare with previous royal weddings? With us now, Dr. Kate Williams, a historian whose books include a history of royal weddings going back to 1066. So you've got quite a perspective then.
Well, there have been some incredible weddings over the history, but really the big royal wedding hasn't really been to the 20th, the 21st century, and this one, what an incredible ceremony. Huge, the crowds, millions of people watching, 2 billion around the world. It was, of course, they said Prince William and Kate would have preferred a small ceremony in her home village. This was a massive, absolutely huge, a big advertisement for the British monarchy.
Okay, history in the making is one of those rather overused phrases, but historians and royal historians like yourself will be writing about this event. You know, people were enjoying it and enjoying the pageantry and looking at the outfits. But in terms of history, what will be the significant things about that day?
Well, I think this is going to be a very significant moment in history for the British monarchy. The British monarchy has survived so long. We're the oldest royal house in Europe because, well, it's been so adaptable. It's adapted to change, it's adapted to chaos, and the British monarchy has been through some pretty bumpy times in the previous decades. This, I think, for everyone, was a new moment of renewal, and there was a lot of symbolism about William as the future king. It may be a long time away, but Kate's dress incorporated all the symbols through flowers of the places he's going to govern. The whole place, it looked like Britain, an English country garden. It is showing William, I think, as the future king, and a very different king, more down with the people, a democratic king, if you will.
Down with the people. That's such an interesting turn of phrase. And so significant because of where Kate Middleton has come from in 4 generations, from a coal mining family to being the future queen of the country.
Exactly. I mean, we, in Britain, they say we're obsessed with the class system, but it's almost as if Kate has scaled her way through the class system. Of course, her family now, they have an incredible level of wealth that most Britons can't aspire to, but they came from very humble beginnings, and they really are a self-made family. And this, I think, is what people love about them, that they've made it themselves through a party piece company, which is fabulous.
You say that most people couldn't aspire to that. I wonder whether, as people watched yesterday, they did think, actually, I wonder if the royal family isn't as remote and inaccessible as it's always been seen to be, because of who she is and where she's come from, and the fact that, you know, people might yesterday have asked themselves, I might one day have a daughter who marries into the royal family.
Yes, I think I saw a little baby in the crowd that said, you know, Kate and William's future daughter-in-law. They'd pinned a little sign on her, she's only little. And I think exactly, this is, we always want to aspire, we always want to dream, and lots of little girls want to be a princess. And I think particularly in the old days, it was thought that royalty should be remote. When we think of the Queen Mother's wedding, it wasn't broadcast in case, you know, people might listen in pubs with their hats on. Don't want that. But now, everyone, we want to be part of the royal family, and this was an absolute opposite of that. William and Kate driving themselves. It was a big party, pubs opened at 8 a.m. They were so thrilled to have everyone with them. They were desperate for the crowds to be with them. Previous royals have complained about the crowds. William and Kate wanted them all to be there. I think this was a big party for the whole nation.
Okay, one thing that occurred to me yesterday was that, am I right in thinking that there is a thought process, which is that you can be ambivalent about the royal family and be very keen on William and Kate and sort of support them in what they do, and that seems to be slightly different than what we thought about the royal family before.
I think exactly, Charlie. I mean, I think you just had to be there in front of the Abbey. The crowd, the cheers for William and Kate was so much louder than they were for the other members of the royal family. Clearly people are just so excited by them. They're young, they seem so much more down to earth, so much more normal. She's from, you know, she's going to be our first queen with a university degree. Like so many Britons, you know, young Britons, they met at university, they live together, they marry around the age of 30. It's so different to the previous royal weddings that we just couldn't comprehend. A random princess comes over from Germany and she's never met anyone. Princess Diana, who was from a terribly, terribly wealthy, top aristocratic family, didn't know Charles so well. The whole setup, even the fact that she stayed with her family the night before in a hotel, which is what most brides do, watching telly with their mum and dad. That's what so many brides do. There were so many touches of normality about it, and really, to me, she just looked like Maid Marian in the midst of a big English country garden. It was so simple in comparison. So let's hope that they capitalise on all this great goodwill.
Well, Dr. Kate Williams, lovely to talk to you this morning.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much for being with us.